in a small town down in Arkansas, where the river flows. There's a man with a passion that everybody knows. He's got a collection that'll make you stare. Vintage pocket knives laid with tender care.
Howdy, howdy everybody. Welcome to HT's EDC, coming at you from the back patio. Hope everybody is doing well this Thursday morning. Gonna be short and sweet. We are on day quattro of our Buck for 5 challenge. You guys can see Miss Abby in the background. Little mama, you'll hear her jingling by here any second. But yeah, we're on day 4 of the Buck challenge, and we're just gonna get right off into it and be short and sweet, show you what we're carrying. Honestly, just probably gonna be, we're thinking about cutting a little grass today. I'm trying to plan it where I only got to cut the grass one more time, but I'm probably gonna have to, it needs cutting now. I'm probably gonna have to cut it now, and maybe one little run over, say November or something, just to make it look clean for the winter. It won't need mowing, but scraggly, you got to weed, some weeds here, weeds there, just where it, before the freeze comes, just make it look pretty one last time. But if I'm lucky, today's it. But may have to do it may have to do it twice. But anyway, really, there's no, I'm going larger than I need to today, just because, why not? I'm HT and I love biggins. So let's get into it. Secondary carry, same as yesterday. We're sticking with the old Buck Tinker with not a corkscrew, with the Phillips head screwdriver. Always a must of mine. Well, I say a must. I have some with corkscrews, but I highly prefer the models that in lieu of a corkscrew have the Phillips screwdriver. I use that all the time. Just to show you, I haven't been showing them every day because, just redundancy, trying to trim a little fat off my videos. But yeah, they're here. They're in my pocket all the time. If I don't show them, just know I have them. Everybody needs the little Jesus, and we have the Holy Land pocket cross. Both of those are with that, with this Tinker in my left pocket. And today, for our Buck for 5, we are rocking a large maglock, which, by the way, was tailor fitted for the knife that I have in it today. If you buy a large maglock, it is for a Buck 110, which is coming out here shortly. The medium maglock was fitted perfectly for a Buck 112. That's, other models will fit. Obviously, your Case Makos will fit, in your 112. Your other large, your LB7s, your 6OTs, other large folders will fit in the large, but these were tailor-made for the 110 and the 112. So, what I'm going to show you today is this guy. And this is the 25th anniversary commemorative Buck Famous Folding Hunter 25th anniversary, 1963 to 1988. So this is a little, and really the only thing that's much fancy pants on this that they gave this one was, of course, the etching, on the blade, telling us about this is a 25th year anniversary, and they threw some nickel silver bolsters on there instead of the typical brass. But they did keep it traditional with the old tried and true Buck clip point blade. So yeah, and I guess nickel silver hardware too. All the pins are nickel silver. So you got nickel bolsters, and all your pins also are nickel silver. So there you go. But outside of that, it's a buck 110. Beautiful. I don't know, I don't have a whole lot of light. We could catch some. No, you're not gonna see the beauty of that ebony wood, the grain, because it's just, I'm out here at 7:30, got an early start this morning, but this has some beautiful ebony wood covers on this guy. But show you all that tang stamp, which if you look that up, buck 110 USA, and has the arrow pointing that way. If you look that up, that blade is actually an 87 blade. So they ran these blades, you know, probably late 1987, knowing they were going to do a commemorative, you know, etch the blades and, you know, do a commemorative knife for 25 years. So the blade itself, these came out in 88. Everybody can understand that, but the blade was actually, they were actually ran and stamped in 87 for an 88 release. So, but anyway, yeah, 1963, folks, they've been making this icon. My understanding is, and there may be, this one is kind of debated, where they're actually some 63 buck 110s that were, you know, in stores or available for purchase. I believe the best I have got an answer from Buck is you could order them from Buck originally first. You could get a 110 in your hand, a 63 buck 110, but it had to come from Buck themselves, from like their catalog, or I'm sure there wasn't online sales in 63, but, you know, mail-in, call-in order, whatever. But these really didn't hit the stores, the retail market, to 64. So most people say the buck 110 is, you know, 1964 on. It's kind of gray and murky there, but hey, you see what Buck puts on the, their blade right here. They say the 110 was a thing in 1963, so there you go. We'll say it's 63. They should know, but I've asked a lot of people, 63, 64, what's the deal with that? And the best answer I got was the one I gave you. Retail stores, 64, but you could get one, I get maybe late 1963 or whatever. If you were aggressive, if you called Buck, or, you know, wrote, you know, whatever you had to do in 1963, through Buck, you could get one of these. But I wasn't around then, so, you know what I'm saying? This is this one is up for debate, and I've heard that story told. You ask 10 different people, it'll be 1964. Yeah, just like 1964, HT, everybody knows that. Then you ask some, you know, some people around Buck, it came out in 63 technically, so I wasted way too much time on that. I know y'all don't care if it came out in 63 or 64. It's freaking old. It's been around forever, and they are just as good now. Solid. Just a tank, folks. Again, you've heard me say it. This is probably the most copied knife, I would say, in U.S. history, but Pakistan, China model. I mean, for a large lockback, let's just say it like this, for a 5-inch-ish, because this is actually 4 7/8 if you want to be technical, but for a 5-inch-ish lockback, this is the gold standard. This is the bar. This is what they all emulated from the iconic 110, and you know where I stand on them. I absolutely love them. A buck 110 and a buck 112 are 1A and 1B. By a small fraction, I like the 112 a little better. I think it just custom molds to my hand. When I grip this 110, it is super comfortable. I mean, it is neutral. but you know, you got, so you do have this in there, you know what I'm saying? You do have just a little, you know, wiggle room, you know, you can look at that as a good or a bad. Extra comfort, you know, you're completely not locked in. Where the 112, I'm about right back here, and it just, you know, I get on it perfectly. It's just, again, I've said it 1,000 times. The knife fairies came in the middle of the night, took a mold of my hand and went back and made the buck 112. So, but don't get me wrong, I will throw one of these in my pocket and love it every time I carry it. It is 1A and 1B, but this 1B here, in my opinion, is the icon. There wouldn't be a 112 without this. The 110 unequivocally came first. You guys know the story, most of you, about the fight on was it a Navy ship, cruise ship out there in California, where someone had a buck 110 and a sailor got stabbed. I believe he died. There was if he didn't die, he was seriously injured with a buck 110, and the Navy came and said that no more 4-inch knives, no more knives of this size. It's banned on our ships, having this long a blade, this long a handle. So Buck took that. They were like, oh crap, you know, because they were buying this knife like hotcakes, and they didn't want, you know, they wanted that they wanted that business from the servicemen. So they got on the horn, you know, they got the engineers together and scaled this thing down a little bit to meet the Navy specs. You know, we don't want a knife blade longer than 3 inches. This is too big. You know, they had their criteria that a knife had to be after that fight, that infamous fight on the SS Ranger. And so Buck made the 112, and its nickname, its moniker, was the 112 Ranger. So there's that story I probably completely butchered. So anyway, this is Papa Bear. This is what started them all. Even my 112 that I love so dearly wouldn't be a 112 without the 110. And it is a fantastic, brute, awesome knife. And yeah, love it, love it, love it. I got a drawer full of them in there. 110s and 112s are my kryptonite, folks. It's just, I can't say no to them. If I never got another 110 or 112 in my life, I could probably switch out one, you know, every day of the month of each of them and never carry the same one twice. But if you offer me one in a trade or whatever, I'm probably going to take it. You know what I'm saying? I probably want another one. So, can't say no to them. They are my weakness. I love them. And that's all I got for you today. That is day number 4, Buck Challenge. We are going with the nickel silver bolsters, nickel silver hardware, Buck 110. And yeah, that's what we're rocking today, folks. So thank you once again to all of those who have hopped on board the challenge. I appreciate it. I'm seeing a bunch of videos out there, and we're seeing some really cool knives. Saw Gordon Holman, G-Man, if you will. He did the old Buck Workman, and I've got one of those in there, and that was pretty cool to see that one come out. That's what I want, you know. I can show a 110, a 112. Everybody showed those, and in 5 days, you kind of just got to represent, you know, the icon at least once. But I have seen some really cool knives. The 395 Omni came out with Stan, Cutlery Universe. The day before, he done the 450, which is a favorite of mine, the Buck 450. He did the Buck Goliath. So, yeah, some knives that don't get their shine anymore, you know, as much, you know. When you think of Buck, you think, let's be honest, Buck 110, Buck 112, the Buck 119 fixed blade. You know, there's some that just synonymous, but I'm wanting to show, you know, Buck has a lot of models, and it's pretty cool to see some ones that are kind of forgotten, and getting another day in the sun. So keep them coming. We love you guys, and we'll be back with day 5. We got one more day. Got to finish up strong on the challenge. I'm HT. God bless.
Buck knives gleaming under that old porch light. He'll tell their stories deep into the night. Reviews and torture tests, it's a sight to see. HT's EDC.